London is known to be one of the most expensive cities to live in. Worryingly enough, for the third year in a row, London has been named yet again the most expensive city in the world, beating Moscow, which is in number 2, Zurich in number 3, and Geneva in number 4. During our research, we spoke to a few students whom have been directly affected by the outrageous rent prices in London. We asked them a few questions, and here are their responses for
London housing is very expensive, especially for people trying to get a new home, first-time buyers, people trying to rent as well, just flats as well. The prices are so high for what little you get as well.
And yeah, I feel like it is expensive, but if you search, you'll find like a decent price place. But it's all about like, obviously it's like convenience-wise, it's easier to like get someone to find it for you, but then you get like higher prices. But if you do all the work, hard work yourself, you can find a decent price place.
I think London housing is expensive because, for example, if you were living in Manchester or in Kent, you'll be paying cheaper. So the thing is very expensive.
According to the ECA International, in London, the average rent for a 3-bedroom flat is around £5,398 a month. This is nearly £4,000 more expensive than other major cities in the UK.
Do I think I'd ever move outside of London? Probably permanently outside of London. Let's say about an hour or so outside, just because the prices in the central are just so high that you can't make a profit trying to live there. Especially you have to build up profit outside of London before you can move into it, which is kind of odd. You need money to live there, if that makes sense.
Well, I think when I finish studying, I would definitely move out of London because, as I said, it's very expensive. And for example, the rent that I'm paying now is $550 just for a double room. And for example, if I was living again in Kent or in Manchester, I would be paying the same price for example, a studio.
With a high price of like rent and housing, you get like higher priced job wages. So it's like you get like more money for your jobs. Like if you move out, you get a cheaper house, but then lower wage. So it still be pretty much the same.
House prices within the UK has only increased over the past few years, and young people owning a property of their own is almost impossible. The Help to Buy scheme has been put in place by the government to help these individuals get their feet on the property ladder.
The prices will go up, so there's always that to look forward to, but the initial start to that is going to be too hard, arguably.
Okay, that's a good question. I think I would, if I work hard, I would. Otherwise, there's no way I can earn a house here.
I'd say no, because now, like at the time that we live in, I don't think buying houses is as valuable as it was before.
Regarding housing and rent in London, mainly the rent is so high that I was forced to move out of the place I was renting at within a few months. I couldn't afford to stay there for much longer.
You get to a point where like, when you're at uni, you like end up living further than you want to be just because of like the rent price. So it's like, you'd rather travel a bit longer just to get like a better rent.
Well, I think I would say that I have to work twice harder. Like, although I'm studying, well, I have to get a job on top of that to be able to pay my rent and everything else.
Housing within the UK continues to be a big problem for the government, an issue they can't seem to be solving. In London alone, a fifth of the households are either sharing their accommodation with another household or a concealed family.
To provide more affordable housing, we could easily go back to making council houses again, because we kind of stopped that during the 80s. and they haven't built that many since. But if they go back to that, making sure that they're all up to a good standard, people will definitely rent there, and that will help solve the housing crisis.
Well, to be honest with you, like London is very crowded, so I don't think there's much they can do anymore because they're building houses on top of houses. Therefore, there wouldn't be any solution than you actually moving out.
Build more houses, because I think like population is growing way faster than the houses that are being built, so it leads to like overpopulation, and then that's when the prices go up. So if they build more houses faster, that would help.
The Buy scheme is an equity loan which is provided by the government. This applies to individuals that want to purchase a new build worth £600,000 or less. The government will lend up to 20% of the property's value. You, the buyer, put down a deposit of 5% and borrow the rest. The equity loan is interest-free for the first 5 years. However, after that, the buyer must pay a monthly admin fee. The equity needs to be paid in full after 25 years, when the mortgage term finishes or when the home is sold. How much is paid back depends on the worth of the property at that particular time. Meaning, if the property has gone up, more money than borrowed will have to be paid back. If the property has gone down in value, then less than what was borrowed initially will have to pay back.
Housing matters so much, and why we need to do far more to get more houses built.
The plan is to build 1 million homes by 2020. And to help, the government has launched an even more ambitious plan to sell off even more public land. But will it do any better than the last one?